524.
Okay, Holly, thank you. You know, when the Avengers movies came here to film last month, they got people excited about superheroes, but a Twinsburg teacher has been a fan all his life, and he brings that enthusiasm into his classroom. Channel 3's Jeriel Snipes here now with more, and it's a sight to see, isn't it?
Yes, and when I saw it, I was mesmerized by what he has done with his classroom. Mr. Tate's art room is filled with action figures of superheroes. This teacher says that he knows he's fortunate to bring his passion into the classroom when so many districts can't even afford to give students art lessons. He says he doesn't do it for the attention, but for the kids and his love of teaching.
How's everyone doing today?
As soon as you walk into Mr. Tate's art room, you can't but help but become inspired. His room is filled with dozens of superheroes, from Spider-Man to Superman to his all-time favorite, the Incredible Hulk.
It was like the Fantastic brought to screen. It was, a normal guy, and then, he, turns green and becomes this, this crazy, strong, hero. And it was just something that, as a kid, it just fascinated me.
And Mr. Tate still has his favorite action figure in his room, given to him by his grandfather after he learned how to ride a bike. He also learned a life lesson.
I remember his words that, if you tell someone something, you need to follow through. And, that's stuck with me all these years.
And that's what Mr. Tate is trying to do with his students at Wilcox Primary School in Twinsburg. Teach them not only to draw, but to get their creative juices flowing and thinking outside the box. His room of action figures, their muse.
I try to harness that creativity, get them excited, get them enthused, and, the room is kind of that non-visual, just the second they walk in, they're just like, wow, they're ready to, just ooze that creativity.
On Mr. Tate's summer vacation, he became an extra on the Avengers movie set and got to see some of his action figures come to life.
It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I could never draw that. That sounds impossible. Well, sometimes what artists do is,
and with each lesson, Mr. Tate is working on doing something incredible himself, encouraging these young artists one drawing at a time.
It's a rectangle, right? Yeah. And you guys know how to draw rectangles. You guys are really good at it. What about the...
And as you saw, Mr. Tate has a lot of action figures. So many, he doesn't know how many. Just a lot, he says. But oddly enough, he knows when one has been moved. Now, some he bought and others were gifts. And the larger items, he says, were given to him by movie theaters or businesses. Now, as for his part in the Avengers, he said he was only on the set one day, the night they filmed on the Detroit Bridge. And he says he can't wait to see if he makes the cut mark. And he really fell in love with this whole ordeal with the original Incredible Hulk back in the 70s with Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno, absolutely. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, Jeriel, thank you very much. It's 5:27 right